That's my spot. I need you to leave. That's my spot. Here. Okay. You gonna be calm? Are we gonna be calm? Are we gonna calm down? Good dog. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. Shh. Be calm. Be calm. Okay. This is as calm as she's gonna get. Imagine for a moment, if you will, you're a Greek naval officer, or a Greek explorer, or a Greek army guy who has this boat. You really like this boat. Nay, I'd say you love this boat. This boat has been with you through thick and thin. But each time you go out for a tour of duty or in some kind of sea exploration, charting the globe and all its vastness, your ship comes back more and more damaged. So, of course you get it fixed, some of the parts get replaced, the bow, the mast, the wheel, even the bottom. I don't know. I'm not an 11th century ship expert. So eventually, so much of your ship is damaged and is now replaced that one of your crewmates has a question. Is this still the same ship? This fable's not about the ship. I've been thinking a lot recently, as I do, about, what we watch, what we read, and, what we listen to, and how it all affects us as people. More specifically, there's a myriad of studies that you can find talking about. What are you doing? Talking about the effects of content consumed on somebody's personality. And it got me wondering, which will lead us now to the ultimate question of this video. What do you want? What do you want? I'm gonna keep this right here. Which leads me now to the ultimate question of this video. Are our personalities, to say, just a giant ship of Theseus? Or a small ship of Theseus? I don't know. I guess to us it's pretty huge because personality is who we are as people. It's literally in the name, person. So this begs the question, are our minds, our souls, our very beings, the thing that lives beneath our bones but not quite in our blood, just a giant amalgamation of content that we've been trained on? And even so, is that necessarily a good thing or a bad thing? I guess we can start with the good of this, and that, let's say someone is lazy. All they do is lounge around all day and their life sucks and they don't have the, drive to improve it. And then they start watching a show about a guy in a not so different situation to his own who gains the drive through some internal motivator to improve his circumstances. And our real life lazy man rises up. He uplifts himself out of his own, pit of apathy and sloth. And he essentially begins modeling his, decision making after this guy on TV. That's an example of a personality adoption that I think would be good. But what if all someone watches is slop reality TV, like Love Island? A small side note, I don't think Love Island viewers deserve rights, but that's a topic for a different video. She's fine. Let's say all they consume is slop reality television and, can you stop it? Okay. Yeah, sit right there. Be nice. Be calm. I'm doing a thing. Then I'll go mess with you all you want. Stop. Stop it. Okay, there. We're just going to do it like this. Okay. And let's say all I watch is slop, inflammatory podcasts that do nothing but sow division and revilement and contempt between two opposing factions or genders or religious ideologies or what have you. And let's say they begin modeling their, own internal decision making after being a contemptuous ass. That's an example of, say, a negative personality adoption. But what happens if, because our giant tech overlords don't want us to live real lives. They want us all to live in their computer. So what happens? We live in a modern age now where instead of people wanting to go out and live, all they do is live through a phone screen. This little attention monster that soaks up more of my time than I'd like to admit is the single greatest drug ever invented. But again, different topic. What happens if everyone we meet, instead of, living based on their own personal experiences, all they live through is vicariousness through others' poor decision making? And what if eventually all the content becomes so saturated and homogenized that we all just consume the same thing? Or you just meet people who consume the same things, and your personalities just kind of meld into one unholy backroom style, amalgamation. This is a term that I've dubbed personality inbreeding, wherein the only things that people have to contribute are what they've watched, listened to, or read. And I love classics. But all classic authors had one thing in common. They actually lived stuff. They actually lived through things. They went out and experienced things in the real world. And modern people, due to that little attention monster, and partly because of themselves, I don't want to just fully place blame on that, because I do believe taking personal responsibility is essential in realizing where you've messed up, and more specifically, how to break a dopamine addiction. But irregardless, our personalities are slowly becoming just one incestuous blob of consumed content. And whether the content is good or bad now, at this point, is almost irrelevant, because if we all become the same copy-paste droid human with the same rotted hamster brains from hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of mindless scrolling, what is there left to talk about? Only something to grieve. That being a people wasted, a life burnt to cinders. I'll try not to be so doomer in my next video, but we live in uncertain times. the best we can do is pick ourselves up and live best we can. Really live in the real world as best we can. Shh. Day by day by day. It's gonna be it for me. I hope you enjoyed whatever this is. And I look forward to when next I see you. That's it from me. Read a real book, but also live in the real world. Who knows how much longer you have for that. Hi there. Come here. I need you for the vanguard. There you go. All right. Now, here, just stare at the camera. 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 All right. Bye.